I offered to babysit my nephew while my sister-in-law traveled. She returned, called me incompetent, and claimed I'd let him get sick. My husband said to apologize. I opened the baby monitor app and hit play on the clip that ended everything because I'm 42, married for 9 years to Matt. We live just outside Raleigh. I work full-time as a nurse at a busy medical clinic. I take care of my aging mother, keep the house clean, manage bills, and cook most nights. I don't complain. I don't cause scenes. I'm the one who keeps things together quietly, behind the curtain. Matt's sister, Tara, is the opposite of that. She's younger, 35, the fun one, the center of every conversation at every family event. Tara is always posting about her life, her skincare routine, her journey to wellness, her bougie vacations. She's got this soft-spoken, innocent thing going on when she talks, but underneath it, she's cold. Everything she does is calculated. I don't dislike her. I just keep my distance. But when she had her baby, Noah, last year, I softened toward her. I know motherhood is hard, especially alone. Her husband is deployed overseas for a year. So when she called me 2 months ago and said she needed help, I didn't hesitate. She was going to Sedona with 2 friends for 5 days. She said she had to recharge spiritually and that I was the only one she trusted with Noah. She laid it on thick, told me how grateful she'd be, how I was such a blessing. I said yes. I took 5 days off work. I stocked the house with everything she listed. Organic snacks, toddler-safe humidifier, special sippy cups, hypoallergenic detergent. Her instructions were pages long, but I followed every one. I even deep-cleaned our guest room so Noah could sleep in a quiet, dark place with white noise and his own crib. I installed a baby cam over the crib just for peace of mind. It was hard. Noah is a sweet kid, but he's one. He doesn't sleep through the night. I was waking up every few hours to check on him. I barely had time to eat, but I did it because I promised. On day 4, Noah got a runny nose and a cough. Nothing extreme. I called the pediatrician Tara uses and explained the symptoms. They said it was a mild cold going around, nothing serious. They told me what to do: fluids, rest, humidifier. I followed every word. When Tara came back that Friday night, she barely said hello. Walked in, looked at Noah in my arms, and said, "Why does he sound so congested?" I told her he caught a little cold, but I'd already spoken to her doctor. He was in good spirits, not running a fever. She didn't even respond. Just started going through the diaper bag, like she was checking for damage. The vibe was ice cold. Then she left without saying thanks. The next morning, Matt comes to me in the kitchen. He looked tired and irritated, and I thought maybe work was stressing him out. But no. He says, "Tara's really upset. She thinks you didn't take good care of Noah." I just blinked at him. "What?" He went on. Said Tara told him I left the baby crying for long stretches. That I didn't respond when he needed help. That she saw signs he wasn't changed regularly. She said she had proof, but wouldn't show it. She made it sound like I was neglectful, like I was careless. Then Matt, my own husband, said, "Maybe you were a little overwhelmed. Maybe just apologize so we can smooth this over." I felt everything inside me drop. My chest got tight. My ears rang. I said, "You think I did something wrong?" He just shrugged and said, "I wasn't here. I'm just trying to keep the peace." That phrase, "keep the peace," is one I've heard my whole life. My parents used it when my older brother got violent with words. I heard it when I was bullied in school. I even heard it after my miscarriage, when Matt's family said, "Let's not make a big deal." But I'd had enough of that phrase. I remembered the camera, the baby monitor I'd set up, more for me than anyone else. It recorded motion. I opened the app on my phone and scrolled to Thursday night, the one Tara said he'd been crying for hours. The clip showed Noah waking up at 2:07 a.m. whimpering. Within 28 seconds, I was in the room, picking him up. I held him, rocked him, whispered to him. I changed him, gave him water, checked his temperature. It was all right there. I watched the whole 5-minute clip. Then I watched the others. Every time he stirred, I was there.
Fast. Calm.
Gentle. And then I found it, the part that would change everything. Thursday afternoon, around 3 p.m. I had stepped into the hallway for 2 minutes to get laundry. The baby was in his crib, content, watching his mobile. Then Tara's voice came through the monitor. She had called Noah. While I was gone, she used the camera's audio function to speak to her baby. I didn't even know she had access. She whispered, "Mama loves you."
Poor baby.
"Is Auntie Erin ignoring you?" He started crying. She repeated it. "Is Auntie ignoring my little man? Is she not listening to you?" The baby sobbed louder. She stopped talking. I came back in and picked him up, confused about why he was suddenly so upset. I stared at the screen, frozen. She did that. She made her own baby cry. Just to make me look bad. I downloaded the clip. That night, I didn't speak to Matt. I didn't sleep either. I waited until morning. When he walked into the kitchen, I was already sitting at the table. I looked him in the eye and said, "You asked me to apologize. Watch this first." And I hit play. Matt watched the whole clip. I didn't say a word while it played. I just sat there and let the silence wrap around us like a noose. When it ended, he looked pale. "Is this real?" he asked. I nodded. "Check the timestamp if you want." He didn't speak for a while. Just stared at the floor like he was trying to make sense of it. Then he muttered, "Why would she do that?" I said, "You tell me." She asked me to watch her kid. I gave up a week of my life. And now she's trying to make it look like I mistreated him? You were ready to let her drag me through the dirt without even asking for my side. He didn't defend himself. Just got up and left the room.
No palegi. No ho.
Just silence. That told me everything I needed to know about where I stood. Later that day, I got a text from Tara.
"Hey.
I heard you're upset. Sorry if you felt overwhelmed this week. I know it's not easy taking care of a baby." No mention of her accusations. No thanks. Just smug, passive-aggressive condescension. Like I was some teenager who needed a pat on the head and a good try. So I responded. I recorded everything from the baby monitor, including Thursday afternoon. "You know what you said to him." She didn't reply for 2 hours. Then, "Please delete that." I wasn't thinking clearly. I missed him, and I guess I just overreacted. Still no apology. At this point, I was angry, but more than that, I was humiliated. She had already messaged other people. I found out later, she called Matt's parents the night she got back and told them I neglected Noah. She said she was concerned for his well-being and hinted that I wasn't mentally fit to babysit. Matt's mom, who's always had a weird favoritism toward Tara, didn't even call to ask my side. She just texted me, "Maybe childcare isn't your strong suit. No shame in that. You've always been more of a career woman anyway." That stung.
Bad.
And then I heard from my boss. One of the nurses at work, someone I thought was friendly with me, came to my office and said, "Hey, not trying to stir anything up, but someone said your sister-in-law is telling people you left a baby unattended for hours, that you had to get checked by CPS." That wasn't just hurtful. That was dangerous. My job is in pediatric care. Even a rumor like that can mess up my standing with families or worse, cause a review by hospital compliance. I didn't wait. I went to HR myself, showed them the baby monitor clips, explained everything. They were sympathetic, but the damage had already started. That night, Matt and I had the worst fight of our marriage. I told him his silence was part of the problem, that he let Tara smear me without standing up for me. He tried to defend her. She was probably just emotional. She's alone. You know she's dramatic. I said, "And I guess I'm disposable? Just the help." We didn't sleep in the same room after that. A few days later, Tara posted a photo on Instagram. Her and Noah cuddled up with a caption, "No one protects my baby like his mama does," even when others fall short. The comments were full of hearts, fire emojis, and "you're doing amazing" messages. I wanted to scream, but instead I made a folder. I labeled it insurance. It had the baby monitor videos, text messages, date, and timestamps. And I wasn't done yet. Because if Tara wanted to drag my name through the dirt in public, then it was time to stop playing defense. This wasn't just a misunderstanding anymore. This was war. I didn't send the folder to anyone right away. I wanted to see how far Tara was willing to go. Turns out, pretty damn far. The following week, I got a call from a blocked number while I was at work. It was brief. A woman identified herself as a social worker with Wake County Child Protective Services. She said there'd been a concerned report filed regarding a minor being cared for at my residence. She asked if I could confirm my identity and availability for a voluntary home visit. My heart dropped. I asked her, was the report anonymous? She hesitated. I can't disclose that, ma'am. But I will say it appears to have come from a relative. That's when I knew. Tara had actually gone and filed a CPS complaint. I held it together through the call, gave my information, and told her she could visit anytime. After I hung up, I went into an empty break room, locked the door, and just sat there shaking. Not crying, just stunned. That wasn't a petty dig or some Instagram post. That was her trying to ruin me. I work in healthcare. If anything came from that complaint, anything, I could lose my job, my license, everything. I went home early that day. Sat on the couch. Thought hard. And that's when I remembered something important. Back when Tara had first asked me to babysit, she emailed me the full care instructions. In that same email, she had attached a temporary login for the baby monitor app. She had written her exact words. Here's access in case you need it. I won't use it unless there's an emergency, promise. I checked the email timestamp.
Attached.
Documented.
Clear as day.
I printed that email. Then I went through the app. It logged every user interaction. And sure enough, her name showed up twice, once on day 2, briefly, and again on day 4, at the exact time she spoke through the camera and made her baby cry. I screenshotted everything. Created a second folder labeled CPS Defense. The home visit happened 2 days later. I met the social worker at the door with a binder. I showed her the nursery, explained everything, gave her the full rundown. Then I calmly handed her the documents and clips. She watched the video of Tara whispering into the monitor and making her own son cry. Her face changed. After about 15 minutes, she closed her folder and said, "Thank you, Mrs. Grayson. I believe we have what we need." I asked her straight out, "Am I being investigated?" She said, "No. You were named in a complaint, but it's clear this was retaliatory. You're not under investigation. We'll be closing the case." I sat down after she left and just stared at the wall. I was relieved. But I wasn't done, because now I had proof that Tara weaponized a government agency against me. And Matt still hadn't said a damn word about it. In fact, when I told him about the visit, his reaction was, "She probably panicked and overreacted. You two just need to talk this out." That's when I stopped seeing him as neutral. He wasn't caught in the middle. He was enabling her. And that night, something changed in me for good. I wasn't going to protect either of them anymore. Not after what they did. After that night, I stopped waiting for Matt to take my side. I stopped hoping for some grand realization that would never come. Instead, I focused on protecting myself and ending this the right way. The next morning, I printed everything: the baby monitor clips, the user log timestamps, Tara's texts, the CPS contact record, the screenshots of her Instagram post, her original email with the access code. I made copies. One for me. One for HR at my job, just in case anything else came up. And one that I mailed, certified with tracking, to Tara's boss. She works for a high-end private therapy clinic in Durham. She's not licensed, but she manages community outreach and social media for them. Basically, the public face. In the envelope, I included a short letter. Just the facts. That she filed a false CPS complaint, that she tried to publicly smear me with provably false claims, that she deliberately triggered distress in her own infant via a baby monitor, that she has a documented history of manipulative behavior tied to her professional role. I didn't add emotion. I didn't insult her. Just let the truth speak. I waited. A week later, Tara, Went dark online. Her Instagram gone. Facebook locked down. Then word got around the family. She was taking time off work and stepping back from social media. That same week, I got a voicemail from her. She sounded small, rattled. Said she didn't know I'd go that far, and that it was just a misunderstanding. I didn't call her back, but Matt did. He came into the kitchen holding his phone, furious. "You sent that crap to her job?" I looked him straight in the eye and said, "She sent CPS to our door." He started ranting about how I'd gone too far, how family doesn't do that to each other, how I was acting out of revenge. I said, "Yes, this is revenge, and I'm not ashamed of it." Then I handed him a folder of his own. Inside, a copy of every message he'd ignored. Every chance he had to stand up for me. Every time he chose silence instead of support. I said, "Read it. And when you're done, pack your things." He didn't believe me at first. But I was calm. Final.
Done.
I'd already talked to a divorce lawyer. North Carolina requires a 1-year separation before filing, so I filed the paperwork to begin that process. The house is in both our names, but I'd already moved half our savings into my own account, legally and clean. He packed a bag and left 2 days later to stay with a friend. We barely spoke. I told my boss everything. Showed them the folders, the proof I'd kept. HR put a note on my file and flagged the situation as resolved in my favor. I told my mother. She cried and hugged me. Said she'd seen for years how Matt let his sister get away with things, but didn't want to meddle. Tara stayed quiet, but her reputation took the hit. Someone leaked parts of the story to a local moms group. Maybe someone at her office, maybe one of the other parents who knew me. Doesn't matter. Word spread. She's not working there anymore. She hasn't posted online in over a month. Her wellness brand is crumbling. As for Matt, he emails once a week. Tries to apologize. Says he never realized how deep the manipulation went. I don't respond. Because I did everything right. I stepped up when they needed me. I loved that child like he was mine. And they tried to ruin me. So no, I won't forgive them. And I won't forget. I live alone now. It's quiet, but peaceful. I'm sleeping better. Eating better. Starting to smile again, slowly. Noah will grow up. One day he'll be old enough to ask questions. Maybe he'll ask about that week he stayed with Aunt Erin. And when he does, I'll tell him the truth. Because he deserves to know what kind of woman his mother really is. And I'll never, ever let anyone use me like that again.